Good day viewers and subscribers, welcome back to my channel. This is Girls Connection, the World Connection. Please remember to subscribe, like and share. Also, click the notification bell to receive daily news updates locally and internationally. Saved by a mistake. Abducted woman's debit card PIN was robber's mother's birth year. A woman who was abducted, blindfolded and robbed by two men posing as taxi driver and a passenger escaped a worse fate when she inadvertently gave them a wrong personal identification number for her debit card. Today, almost 3 months after the ordeal, Marcia is still traumatized as she can't help the flashbacks that come with each report of what now appears to be a trend of young women being subjected to a similar nightmare in Kingston and St. Catherine. Marcia, a household worker and mother of 5 daughters and a son, remembers well the morning of Tuesday, September 8, 2020, as she had a sense of foreboding about leaving her home in Mountain View area for work. However, she said in an interview 2 Sundays ago that she had to take one of her daughters to her school on an instruction from the administrators. When they got there, one of the teen's teachers asked Marcia if she had a device for her daughter. She told the teacher there was one in the house, but it was being used by her son. The teacher therefore instructed her to get one as the school didn't want the daughter to miss her online classes. That set them on a journey to downtown Kingston, where they eventually went to the Court store and made a $10,000 down payment on a tablet, leaving her with $16,000 in her bank account. I got the receipt, put my daughter on a taxi to go home, and then took a bus to work on Braemar Avenue, Marcia explained. She worked until late that evening. In fact, when she became aware of the time, she set about leaving the housing complex. However, because that road is usually lonely at night, plus the start of the night COVID-19 curfews was approaching, Marcia waited for the female security guard at the complex to avoid walking alone. Eventually, they got a lift from a friend of the security guard who dropped Marcia off at Trafalgar Road with the advice to stand near the mission to ensure her safety. I was there waiting, no bus, no taxi. One JUTC bus came, but it was not in service. I waited and started to get impatient because I didn't want to be on the road late. Worse, I didn't want to be in breach of the curfew Marcia related. Then I saw a white car drive up. The roof light was on and the shot from inside was Mountain View. So I'm looking at the car. I could have swear it was a girl in the front passenger seat. So I said, okay, maybe because it is coming up to the curfew time, there are probably fewer passengers on the road. So the driver has that one girl and me, so him get $200, Marcia said. When we drive off, me look at the passenger and say, but me never recall seeing him driving this route before. But then, I don't know every taxi driver on my route. The fact that the driver and the passenger were not talking did not make her suspicious either, as she assumed that they did not know each other. She became a bit concerned after the driver turned the car onto Lady Musgrave Road and started winding up the windows, but she wasn't too alarmed given that the road had been recently dug up and she thought that maybe the driver was trying to avoid the dust getting into the vehicle. Shortly after, the passenger reclined the seat. By the time if I said, driver, why the passenger push back the seat? Because me I said maybe I'm girlfriend. The person kneeled in the seat and faced me with a knife. That was when I realized it was a man, she said. Him say, don't try fight me no. My head start hurt me same time. Every part of me start hurt me because me I said, Jesus, what kind of trouble this me get myself into? Him say, just sit back, don't scream. I held up my hands and said, I'm not going to do that. He came across and practically sat on my right leg. I'm now pinned to the door, the seat and him, so there's nowhere to go. He said, I'm going to take this, which was my handbag. He took the bag and placed it on the front seat. He then took out a handkerchief and said, I'm going to put this over your face. She felt the car turned, after which the driver asked her if she had a credit card. She answered no. But you have all these cards in your purse, the driver retorted. I said, yes, but they are not working. You join a bank and you leave, but you still keep the card. So what about this one? It looked new, the driver said. I knew it was a Scotia card he was talking because I had just replaced it, Marcia said. Him say, how much money you have on the card? I said $13,000, but then I said to myself, tell him 3,000. So I said, no, me not have 13,000, me have 3,000. I started to explain to him that I went to court and how much money I paid for the tablet for my daughter. So him say, oh, me gonna know say you did go to court. I told him, the receipt is in my purse and you are in my purse. I told him I was supposed to go and pay my water bill, which is $3,000 odd, but the machine wasn't working. It wasn't taking any cards and I didn't have any cash, and it was a $3,000 on the card to pay. I don't know if he looked at the receipt, but he asked me, what in your bag? I told him a bottle of water, which I was drinking and couldn't finish, a half pack of biscuit, which I was carrying for my son, and buying work clothes. So him said, what kind of work you do? Me said, day's work. Him said, day's work? Me said, yes. And he asked, what you do? And me tell him. Marcia recalled with a heavy sigh. Then he said, you're poor. She said throughout the interrogation, she was praying that no harm would befall her. The driver then told her that so far, he believed all that she had told him as he had looked at the receipt in her purse. He told her that if he took her to an ATM and found more than $3,000 in her account, she would be in trouble. She assured him that he wouldn't find more than that. At that point, he asked her for her PIN. So I said, 1976, not even remembering say I know my PIN number I know, but when you're in a trouble, anything are just anything. Him said, Jano, you use your birthday as your PIN number. You know, I realize that you're a big man. I'm a mother about 1976. So if I violate you, that I could just come in like me I violate my mother. Here what we're going to do. We're going to drop you at a place. And when we drop you, no make no alert. Just make we go about with business and you go about your own, she recalled. He then put her through another test by asking her how much money she had in her purse. She told him $1,050. He said, okay, and that you have for true. Another round of interrogation about whether her children were not old enough to help her was conducted as the car kept moving. So I said to myself, what you know? He might rob me and interrogate me, and I know he might go sympathize with me, the fact that me poor, Marcia shared. As the car continued moving, a range of thoughts raced through the blindfolded woman's mind. She wondered if the driver's mother was herself a day's worker, thus earning her his sympathy, or whether he and his partner would rape or kill her because she had nothing of value to give them. What kind of phone you have? Interrupted her thoughts. A DL3, and it not even a work, she responded. When I said that, I noticed through the blindfold the light come up on the phone because I told him what had happened to the phone. He realized that I was not lying, Marcia said. The car kept moving and Marcia started to worry that they were not stopping to let her out. Eventually, the vehicle came to a stop and the knife-wielding passenger told her, don't move, the driver will come round and take you out of the car. After what seemed like an eternity to her, the driver opened the door. His accomplice told her to open her palm and placed her bag in it. The driver, she said, then asked her to give him her left hand, and while he was helping her out of the car, her foot got caught in the seat belt. Take your time, man, no bother hurt yourself, because me tell you say, me never did I go hurt you, he told her. He warned her against removing the blindfold before he drove away. She assured him she wouldn't. When she could no longer hear the engine, Marcia pulled the blindfold off. She had no clue where she was, and there was no sign of life in the darkness. I saw a building looking like a factory with a big gate and was looking for a security guard so I could call the police, but saw no one, she said, adding that she started walking in the direction from which the car got to the spot. Eventually, she saw a private car coming towards her. Although the ordeal left her traumatized, she took a chance and beckoned to the driver to stop. Him slowed down and said, I'm not working, so I said, sir, I don't need a taxi. She told him of her ordeal and that she didn't know where she was. He told me to continue in the direction which I was walking and I will soon start seeing people and then I could go to the Crossroads police station, she related. That's when I knew I was near Crossroads. However, when she got there, she was too shaken up to go to the police. She checked her bag, found that the robbers had taken her phone but left her with $150 and the debit card. The money was enough to get her home in a route taxi, which she only boarded after ensuring that a friend of hers was a passenger. Back in the safety of her house, Marcia's 9-year-old son asked her how it took her so long to get home as he was awaiting her arrival. That's when I started to cry, she shared, adding that she told him that she almost didn't make it home and related her ordeal. It brought her daughters to tears. It was a wicked ordeal, Marcia said with a heavy sigh. For weeks I couldn't stop crying. I was also feeling pain but couldn't understand why. People don't understand that when somebody robs you, yeah, them take your phone and them take other things. But that is not the biggest thing them take from you. What they have taken from you is your peace of mind. The fact that I left my yard that morning, only my daughter that I carried with me knew that I had left the house because the others were sleeping. And while I did look in on them before I left, I never said anything to them. The whole night I couldn't sleep. I was there thinking, and then it came to me that 1976 is not my pin. I just didn't remember the pin. I just know that when they asked for the pin, it was the first thing that came out of my mouth. The following day, her employer informed the bank and got the phone provider to clear the stolen phone. A few days later, Marcia's daughter received a photo on her phone from her mother's sister asking Marcia if she knew the person in the picture. When me look, not the driver, him put up in picture on my WhatsApp status, she said, adding that the thief also posted a photo of a woman who she assumed was his girlfriend. Marcia was eventually put in contact with a policeman who encouraged her to make a report at the police station because he said it was happening and people don't know the faces of the robbers. She sent the police the photos that her sister sent her, went to the Halfway Tree Criminal Investigation Branch and made the report. When the police officers saw the pictures, one of them said to the other, "A them same boy we a look fine, no?" She related. On the day Marcia shared her story with us, she said she had heard on the midday news that a woman was abducted in similar circumstances in Portmore and beaten. You know much Tuesday me not go work because of that? Eventually, she found the courage to return to work on Tuesday before the interview, but found that she was still traumatized. I was walking on the road and a car slowed down to turn. It was a woman driving and she was going about her business, but I got a panic attack. My heart started racing and I said, "Jesus, when me I go run go now?" Everything that me got through started come to my mind. Since then, she has had an altercation with a taxi driver who took offense to her looking inside his car before boarding. When she told him of her ordeal, he was astonished, then apologized saying he thought she was being difficult. Now she says she ensures she knows the taxi driver's face before taking a cab. And even if me don't know them face, me are looking at the back of the car because you're not safe nowhere, she said. This is Girls Connection, the World Connection. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Also, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you.